Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, perfect. Go ahead. So we were talking about personal finance.
Right. It's so interesting that you mentioned you went to USC School of Business, and then it's like, well, I would expect to learn everything about business and finance, and yet they don't, no one really teaches you about personal finance.
Because if you did, you'd realize getting into student debt is a bad idea. And in fact, there's some of the
So true. And I'm
some of the
sure USC students have a lot of that.
no, and what was hilarious, we actually had business school professors, but they didn't make fun of the MBA students. They made fun of the social workers because you had to pay like 100 grand to get a master's in social work, and you only make like not like you only make like 50, 60K. So business school professors were bringing that up, and like I was like, hey, like you're kind of bringing it up that a lot of these degrees and a lot of education you pay for is like kind of a scam and a hustle, and like some of the best education you can learn, it's actually free, especially now with the internet and there's like TikTok and YouTube. There's a lot of really successful people that post content all the time. And it's something that you didn't have 10 or 20 years ago. And it's just like up to like our generation, like on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, like, are you going to follow stupid people and just become more stupid? Or do you want to follow like, you can follow the Michael Jordan of investing, like, by the way, let me ask if you've heard of them. Have you ever heard of Kathy Wood?
Oh yeah, the ARC lady.
Yeah. When did you find out about her? Good job. Because like a lot of people don't know. They know Kim Kardashian, but
Um, so I've been hearing about like the ARC ETFs on Reddit, and then actually around that time you texted me too about that.
yeah.
And so I looked into it a bit. I haven't bought any yet. I was probably gonna ask you today if you had any recommendations, but I've heard a lot about her, but I've heard so many different perspectives on her though. Like some people think she's a genius, but some people just like absolutely hate her. So I haven't done a lot of my own research about her yet, but it seems interesting.
Yeah. So the way I got into crypto is like my foot in the door. So when I heard about crypto, I was like, all right, this is kind of stupid, but here's the deal. Cause like Mark Cuban even said this. He's like, you should always take 1% and like go on a crazy, the ones that people talk shit on, sometimes it might make sense. And it's kind of like, look at Airbnb. It sounded like a really bad idea until like it became an idea, right? Same thing with Uber or even Amazon. Because like back in the day, people didn't trust using your credit card and like giving it over the internet. Like,
Oh yeah.
and so all of this doesn't make sense. And that's like kind of how innovation works. And that's why when you're investing, sometimes I don't say like YOLO and put like 50% into Dogecoin, but if you
Mhm.
want to put 1%, if you want to, I mean, Dogecoin's a joke, so that's kind of different. But like the way I started, I bought 1% Bitcoin and then 1% like Ethereum. And, I kind of went from there where like there's a lot of people I've told about crypto and they won't do it. I mean, there's this other guy, there's a USD MBA on, I met through TikTok, believe it or not, but
Mhm.
he's worth like 600, $700,000. He's got a great job, but he will not touch crypto. He's just like, I don't understand it. He only wants to buy like certain stocks. He's like a kind of like a Warren Buffett wannabe.
Right. And then
And
how old is he?
he's younger than me, so he's 32. 32.
Oh, that's pretty young to like be in that kind of mindset.
Yeah,
But like
yeah,
I kind of get it though. It's like it's a whole different like trajectory. Like people who are rooted in tradition, they're not gonna budge. Like especially the fact that like crypto is hard to understand. Like I honestly don't even barely understand anything about it, but I do know I do like believe in what they're doing, and I know that like I probably will never understand it completely, but I'll get the gist of it eventually, I guess.
but you have the curiosity to put in like the first $100, the first $200, right? And then some people they get
Yeah.
afraid and they stop at like $1,000 or whatever. But like you went down that rabbit hole, and a lot of people don't do it. So
Mhm.
you did it.
Oh, thanks.
But like, what got you there? I mean, what made it okay for you to put in a couple $1,000? Because like before, you've never invested, right? And like, um,
No, never.
yeah. And I forgot to ask. So how like I know I like bad, but approximately how old are you, or when did you graduate?
Oh, I'm 24.
Okay. And so but yeah, so you went basically what, 23 years where you had never, like, I'm sure none of your friends talk about investing, right?
Um, I guess it's a little different. Like I have a lot of friends who no, they're pretty hardcore investors, but I think that's a bit of an anomaly. I think in general, people are not they don't talk about investing or they aren't as like hardcore about it. Like I know people who like obviously they'll have their own personal finance goals or whatever. And then there's like another subset of people that I know who are like super into crypto or a subset that's super into like traditional investing and like stocks and like ETFs and stuff.
Yeah.
But I also have this one friend who is like one of those Bitcoin people. Like he got into Bitcoin like years ago, and then I don't even know how much Bitcoin he owns, but he's probably like worth millions. So he's like one of those people. Um, but yeah, for me, I don't even know how I got into it in the first place. I think that I was reading a lot. I was reading a lot about the altcoins.
What I was gonna say,
Um,
it's the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. And I'm pretty sure you spend time with people that invest, and that's what got you to do it, right? No?
right, because it almost seems like once you kind of learn that the people around you are investing, it almost seems stupid not to, because at that point you're just wasting money.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, I feel like people grow up and they're kind of brainwashed into becoming consumers, right?
Mm.
And not
Oh
investors.
yes, 100%.
And I think it makes it easier for our generation to be investors because, like, I believe in climate change. So I'm kind of like a minimalist. And I do really like investing because I feel like I can invest in projects to make better technology to fight climate change and just make the world like a better place. Where, like, if I
Ooh,
just
I
buy,
love that.
yeah, if I buy stuff from Walmart, I don't know if I'm really like making the world better and I'm like helping
Yeah,
slave. And it's the same with like Nike. Like, there's a lot of like brands that they have slave labor. It's like if I don't buy that
like
shit, instead, like, I keep what I have. You can still buy high quality shit. It's just like you keep it for a really long time. You don't throw it away or whatever. And instead, you're like using that money to make the world a better place. And at the same time, it happens to go up a lot.
right? Then that's a
So,
good thing.
but
Yeah,
it also makes it easier for me to take risks because if I really believe it's a technology like Tesla, if I really do believe it's making the world a better place, when it goes up and down, I'm not really afraid. And I feel the same thing with Bitcoin. I know it's like legit technology and like there's a lot of poor people that are screwed because their currency gets devalued. And that's the whole concept of crypto and Bitcoin. So even if I lose money, I don't care because like I'm from Iran. Well, I'm not from Iran. I grew up in California. I was born in California, but I've been to Iran. And what was crazy is when I went to Iran, I saw their currency go to shit. Like I brought a dollar and a dollar was 2,000. And then a week later, it was 2,500. So like you literally lost 25% of your currency. But now,
oh, what?
yeah, yeah. And I'm sure it's like the same with other countries too. Are you like, what's your nationality?
I'm Chinese, but I was also born here.
Okay. Yeah. So China has, they actually do a lot of real estate loans in the U.S. because their currency also devalues. It's not as bad as the U.S. dollar, but it's like double. It's like 6 to 7%. But all these
Mhm.
people get screwed, and like the whole idea of crypto, and it's the central banks that do it. But like that's what crypto, like if Bitcoin keeps going up, let's say in 5 years, it's like now $1 million or 500,000. This shows how much money the central banks are stealing. Because like 3 years ago,
Yeah.
Bitcoin, like, it was only 1,000 or 2,000. If it keeps going up in value, it just shows that all these other countries, they print these shitty currencies. And people take these shitty currencies, they can buy other stuff too, but they're choosing to buy crypto. And like anyone with an internet connection can have a crypto account and like actually store money in a safe way and not get screwed.
That's so true.
Yeah. And so that's what made it so easy for me to invest in crypto because I was like, wait a minute, even if I get scammed and something bad happens, I have cousins in Iran that like I remember I gave them like $2,000 US dollars. And they're like, oh, this is so sick because now we can actually like have a savings account in dollars, right? And
Oh my gosh, yeah.
but what's sad is the US is screwing them at the same time with all the sanctions and stuff. And so I'm like, wow, Bitcoin's kind of like that, but Bitcoin doesn't have a military, you know, like, do you know who Jamie Dimon is? The CEO of,
No, I don't.
so he's the CEO of Chase Bank, and he's kind of like the figurehead of like the really cocky bank CEO. So he makes about
Hmm.
$35 million a year, and he has like a private jet the company pays for. He has like all these expenses, and it's like people are always like, "Oh, like Bitcoin's a scam," but I'm like, no, it's technology to get rid of the Jamie Dimon, right? Every like,
Right.
yeah, exactly. It's like there's like that infrastructure, that hierarchy that makes a ton of money. And the whole idea with crypto, it's like now only the miners are like, the people that do the mining, that's the only people. They can't have private jets. They can't have $35 million. They have to go buy mining equipment.
I know. I mean, yeah, that shit's really expensive, right?
So hopefully I convinced you then. So don't sell any of your crypto. What you can do with your crypto is you can get loans on them, and then you can take that cash and you can either obviously, if you need cash, you've got cash, or you should also invest in stocks. And the reason you should have stocks, because stocks have a lot more liquidity. You can get way better loans on your stock. Like if you actually need to like let's just say you want to buy a house and your house is like $100,000 down payment. It's a lot easier to get a loan on your stock to then buy a house, or let's say you want to buy whatever the hell you want to buy. Should I say Louis Vuitton, or I don't know? What's your next big purchase?
Okay, I get it.
So yeah, when you want to borrow on crypto, and this is where people need to like now compare crypto to stocks, and it'll change. So whatever I tell you right now, and that's the problem with business school, is whatever they teach you at business school, it's only good during that time in that era. The whole idea of business, it's evolving. It's the same with science too.
Hmm.
That's why school is kind of stupid and YouTube is way cooler. You have to constantly update yourself, and you don't want like some like window shopper, right? Like the cool thing with YouTube is like you can have Elon Musk or whoever the smartest person is, they can talk about it, and you can actually like consume a lot of content for free.
Oh yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you because I went to UC Irvine for
Oh, okay.
psychology.
I went to UC.
I don't even think. Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm a Trojan
But,
anteater, and I was on the swim team.
nice. Oh, wow, that's dope.
Yeah,
But anyway, yeah, like I don't even use my degree today.
yeah. And how much did you pay for it?
Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it. Not
Well,
as much as USC though.
yeah. So I paid 120 grand for USC, and I graduated in
Uh,
2015. And I was talking to the guy that I met on TikTok. He has to now pay 200 grand. They raised the price, and it's all online.
oh,
So he's paying 200 grand. I'm paying 120 grand. And I actually did the math. If I just took the 120 grand and I bought Bitcoin, I'd actually have $32 million. And if I did it in 2000, when I started my MBA, I'd actually have like $478 million. So
oh
literally,
my
All I
What?
had to do in 2011 was just tell my parents, Mom, Dad, just give me like a loan. I'll pay you back later.
Isn't it funny, like, to think about those things though? Because I wonder if like any of us did invest in Bitcoin at that time, if we would have kept it.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So that's a good point that you brought up. But what if there's gonna be other Bitcoins? The main thing I want to bring up is that okay, you just started investing, right? You're like
Oh
brand new.
yeah, of course.
And the main thing, so I probably started in 2017 because like I actually started buying stocks in 2008 or 9, but like my mindset was like, oh, stocks are kind of like a scam and that you can only make money in real estate. So the only reason I was investing in stocks was like you get like IRA money. Are you familiar with IRAs and 401ks?
Oh, a little, yeah.
It's like
And
tax
it's
deferred.
those are untaxed, right?
Yeah, it's like tax deferred. You have to get it to your job. So it was all weird, but I had money from that. And so that's what got me into stocks, fortunately. But I was like, screw this. Stocks are stupid. And I just focused on real estate. At the time, it was actually not a bad idea because like real estate was super cheap, in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
But it's changed now where I don't feel like if I graduate, because I graduated UCI in 2008, if I graduated in 2018, it wouldn't make sense to do the things that I did. Like I would have to have a completely different mindset and do like new things. And so like that's the thing with Bitcoin. It's like there's gonna be another Bitcoin. There's gonna be other opportunities. You just have to wait. I mean, you just have to be young, which is good for all of us. You have to be young and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And you have to just pay attention, right? Because like some people will never invest in Bitcoin or will never invest in any opportunity because they're just super risk adverse, right? They won't do that 1% bet. So you just have to be okay with 1%. It might sound stupid, but you never know. You could hit the next one, and then the main thing is you have to be able to hold it and not sell it like an idiot.
Yeah. Okay, so actually going off of that, I was wondering, a lot of people have been telling me to take profits on my crypto. Like for example, like selling 10% and then putting it back into at like a lower rate.
So you can try
Would
that.
you recommend? Mm-hmm.
You try it. So once again, I think you should try everything because you're like a new investor. So some things will work for you,
Right.
some things won't, right? Because like the whole thing, it's like some people are good at it and some people are like good at not being emotional. For me, I don't really like it, and I'm also in like a high enough tax bracket where I don't want to worry about buying and selling all the time. So I don't really but I don't have any crappy, like I don't have any Dogecoin. I only hold like the top 10 really good crypto. So if you have some of those crap cryptos, I do think it's not a bad idea. Have you heard of Voyager Digital?
Oh yes.
Okay, so with Voyager,
There.
they'll pay you interest on like your Cardano, but they'll pay you 9% on your dollar. And that actually makes sense. So like if you have crap crypto, I would sell it and then you can take it over to Voyager and you can either leave it in Cardano or like Bitcoin or like a really good coin, or you can actually hold it in US dollars. And they pay you 9%.
Wait a second. Wait, so you hold their payouts in US dollars?
No, you have to hold the USDC coin. Have you heard of the USD? There's like the Gemini dollar,
Oh yeah.
Tether.
It like mimics the dollar, right?
Yes, yeah. So you just have to hold that. The minimum balance is $100, so you have to hold at least $100, and it has to stay there for a month, and then they pay out. But that's like a good trade because like this crypto market it is going crazy, and you do want to take some profits and probably hold a little bit dollars. I wouldn't hold a lot because I still think the dollar is going to go down versus crypto long term. But this like allows you then to kind of like trade a little bit if you want to. If you're going to trade, do a no fee platform. Like Voyager, there's no fees. And then you can also do what's it called? Blockify. Blockify, there's no fees.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And so
So
that's
the thing
another thing
with
too. As you started out, trust me, the more platforms and the more, even with your stock, the more exchanges you use, the better. Because it's like you understand how every platform works and what are the benefits. And like as you get older, you're not going to want to do that. You're going to get really used to like your iPhone or like whatever your one platform is. You're going to get really used to it. You don't want to do that. You want to actually understand all the different platforms and figure out which platform works best for you. And you get a bunch of free signups.
so
but
true.
but I've used like 15, 16, 17 platforms, and I've learned a lot from being able to understand how each platform works, like what are the benefits, and then they always change. And so understanding which one gives you the best like deals, because like I wasted money on Coinbase, I paid a lot of fees, but now
Oh
I
yeah.
know there's ways where I can buy crypto and there's no fees. But you have to like kind of pay attention, and that stuff adds up. Trust me, especially as you invest more and more and more.
I know it totally does. Like the main exchange I use is Kraken.
Yeah, which is good. Like that's good. You're comfortable, but now you got to get out of your comfort zone and start using the other ones, and especially stocks. So you should probably use like the stock platforms that also allow you to buy crypto, and you can also then own a little crypto on that.
Oh yeah. Would you recommend buying crypto from what is it, like stock brokerages? Because I know that if you buy them from like you're
So
not
yes,
really owning the crypto.
yes, because this is the reason you want to do it is because you're going to also buy stocks, and then you can use the stocks you have to borrow to buy crypto for like 2.5%. And so like imagine you can buy now like let's just say you got $10,000 of stock. That means you can buy $5,000 of Cardano, or let's just say Bitcoin at 5.5%, or no, sorry, 2.5%, right? 2.5% interest in dollars. You got that?
Okay,
You
I'm
there?
keeping up. Uh-huh.
Okay. But if you have that money in, for example, Voyager, they'll pay you 6% in Bitcoin. So you can literally borrow money on Robinhood at 2.5% interest, and then you just go buy Bitcoin and you're collecting on your Bitcoin 6%. Or you can just do the arbitrage on the dollar. Do you know what arbitrage means?
No.
So you can literally right now borrow 10,000. If you have $20,000 of stocks, good stocks, you can't have any shitty ones. Oh, sorry, I keep that. You have to have good stocks, and that's why you have to learn how to borrow, because when you learn how to borrow, you can figure out which ones are good and which ones are bad, because the bankers are smart, right? If you're a banker, you're
Exactly.
very smart, and they're very good at giving loans on good assets. And that's why I don't want to tell people this is a bad asset, because like sometimes like Bitcoin, they for a very long time they wouldn't give loans on Bitcoin because it was considered a crappy asset. But after a long time, it did so well. People are like, okay, now we'll give loans on Bitcoin. But anyways, so you can borrow. Let's just say you have $20,000 of stock. You can borrow $10,000 at 2.5% interest, and you can just buy the U.S. dollar coin and get 9%. So you're guaranteed going to make 7% on and it's just a pure arbitrage.
Wow. That is okay. I get what you mean by getting out of your comfort zone, because that is all of this is like scary to me.
Yeah, and so the best way to get out of your comfort zone, I gave you big numbers, so just do it with like $1,000, or do it with $500, right? And that's the problem is I probably should say lower amounts, but the sooner you do it, and especially because right now, you're 24, you're gonna eventually, if you know what you're doing, you're gonna start paying a lot more taxes in California, and like everything that I'm telling
Right.
you, you're gonna thank me later if you're doing really well and you're having to pay the government and California a lot of money. But in the
I
beginning, you're
know.
like, it's not necessary. But if you learn, it's just like you're not going to just make more money. You're going to also pay less taxes. But
Hmm.
because like, why put $100 into Dogecoin when you could put in $200 into Tesla, but you have to put in $100 and then you borrow, right? And you get money to borrow to buy. You know what I mean? So it's like you can just leverage on safer investments and you get a tax deduction. And there's other advantages too, like in the future, like the idea of not selling, because if you buy a really good asset, you can hold it for 10, 20 years and there's no taxes, and you can take a bunch of money out and you can buy other stuff with it.
Yeah. So that also kind of goes to like, I was really curious about taking profits. It means that you're essentially losing a little bit at the same time because you have to report that in your taxes, right?
Yep. So instead, what I would say is take everything that you got and you can convert it into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin right now gives you the best loan, but you can
Mm-hmm.
take it to BlockFi, and let's just say you have $10,000 of Bitcoin. You can get a 20% loan. So you can get a $2,000 loan cash, and they're only going to charge you 6% interest. So if you do the math on that, let me see, $2,000. I don't know. Do you have a calculator? But 10% would be 200
Okay.
bucks. So 5%
Uh-huh.
would be, it'd be about $100. You pay $100 of interest, which is tax deductible, to borrow $2,000, and then you can do whatever you want with that $2,000. You can use it for stuff you want to buy, or you can buy other assets. But
Right, right.
you're also collecting that 6% of Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, isn't that a great deal?
It's like a no-brainer when you like writing it down on
Not a lot
paper.
of,
It's kind of like, yeah.
but a lot of people won't do it because it's complex. You got to go set it up on your phone. It's crazy because I try to tell a lot of old people, and when I say old
Uh-huh.
people, it's good that you live in Orange County. Like, there's people with like just retarded money. Like, I know a guy in Laguna Beach that he has like $3.5 million, sitting in his Wells
Uh-huh.
Fargo, and he gets nothing.
Oh.
And
Oh
what's good
my
is
God.
I got his son into crypto, so now he's like, but like when I try to show him how to set it up to BlockFi, he's like, no, I don't want to link it to my Wells Fargo. What if they steal all my money? And I'm like, no, this is like
Mm-hmm.
all the U.S. This is all in the U.S. It's like regulated. It's not like some Hong Kong, like crypto account. It's not Binance. But so he wouldn't do it. But his son did it. His son's obviously made a lot of money, and finally he's giving his son 100 grand. And I'm like, you have like 3.2 million sitting in Wells Fargo, and you're getting zero. But whatever.
Nice. Nice.
They like,
I'm glad his son got the 100 grand
yeah.
because he could
Well,
do a lot more with that.
no. And what's funny is his dad wants him to go to college, and I'm like, dude, just give him the 100 grand. If it was my kids, I would do this too. I'd be like, look, just go to like UCI, but like go to a JC first or something. Make your education
Yeah.
as cheap as possible, basically, and then take that 100 grand and go and like YOLO it. And like, even if you lose money, it's all a tax deduction. So in the future, if you ever do make money, you get a tax deduction.
Yep.
You don't get a tax deduction on your college degree.
I know. College loans, the biggest scam in the nation.
Yeah, but they paused it right now, so you don't have to pay any interest, right?
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah. I'm all done with the college stuff, so I haven't been keeping up with it, but yeah, I've heard about that in the news.
Don't you regret though? You should have just not paid your student loans, and then you could have YOLO Bitcoin. And right now,
I know, right? Like I
you would be worth
I
a
could
couple
have
hundred
waited.
grand. But yeah, no, I mean, so let's talk about the stock. So who do you use for your stockbroker?
So right now I'm just using Robinhood just because I kind of took a break from the whole stock thing. Honestly, same with my crypto portfolio. Like I kind of just wanted to like take a little time to focus on other stuff, kind of learn more about it as I go before I make any bigger changes. I was also worried about the tax thing, so that was kind of holding me back. But anyway, Robinhood is just like, eh. I'm definitely open to other things.
Okay, no, but I think it's going to be the best way for you to start because you can borrow because like the goal is you need to get to $2,000. When you get to $2,000 and it has to be stock, you can then start borrowing $1,000 from Robinhood. And so that's the best way to learn. So your current crypto though, like you should consider, if you don't want to look at it, you shouldn't hold any of the like the smaller coins. Like what's in your crypto portfolio right now? Can you give me like a percentage?
A percentage of
your holdings of like what do you own? Like, 10%.
Oh, like the actual tokens? Oh.
Yeah. Or if you can tell me a dollar amount too, if you feel more comfortable with the dollar amount. If not dollar amount, then just tell me percentage.
Okay. Wait a second. When you say like percentage, do you mean like percentage of my entire investment portfolio?
Oh yeah, whatever's like, in that account, right? Because you just have one account, right? Or do you have multiple accounts?
Yeah. Well, you mean, so my crypto is on Kraken.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit of Bitcoin on Coinbase. So okay. You mean like what percentage is crypto in my entire investment portfolio?
No, let's first talk about your crypto, right?
Okay.
Talk about the other ones too, but okay, let's go ahead and talk about the other ones then. Fine. So, and then you have a Robinhood, and then you probably have a savings account, right? Like those are the three.
Yeah, but like okay. I like barely have anything in my Robinhood, and I also don't. So I have a savings account with. So I have two banks that I bank with. I have a savings account for Chase Bank, but my day-to-day like transactions, I use my like credit or debit card from Wells Fargo, but I don't keep a savings account there.
Okay. Yeah. And so don't you feel you're getting ripped off by your savings account?
Savings account, yes, exactly. So that's why I didn't even open a savings account with Wells Fargo, because I was like, there's not really a point, because any money I would be putting in there, I probably would rather put it into investments anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you're not sitting on like a $5,000 or $10,000 cash account, right? What's the minimum for your account?
Like I mean, I probably have about like 4,000 or 5,000 in my checkings. Usually, like I'll keep about 4 or 5 in there so I can like pay my credit card every month and like blah blah blah.
Okay. Yeah, that's why you got to check out the Robinhood, because you can literally have money transferred the next day to those accounts. So then like you don't, because trust me, okay, so I'll tell you, I went down the exact opposite, where I used to have like hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in like bank accounts, because I'm like, oh, I have real estate. I need to like have cash to like take care of it. But I didn't realize with these brokerages, you get the money the next day. So like ours is that we have to have a minimum in a business account for Bank of America, $5,000, and that's literally what I keep it at. Like if there's $7,000, I'm transferring it and I'm putting it into the brokerage account, because there's so many other things that I can put that money into, and it's going to make, like I just told you, there's something that will give me 9%. So it's like, why would I leave money? Yeah, exactly. Because like it used to be different though. It's going to change. So in the future, because like it used to be where you get like 3% or 5% or 6%, then you can have more cash in the account. But once you figure out that there's like, I have 2 different accounts. I have Interactive Brokers and Robinhood. And the problem with Interactive Brokers, it's 3 days. That's why I like Robinhood. For whatever reason, Robinhood, and there's one other one, M1 Finance. Robinhood and M1 Finance, I get the money right away the next day. It's so sick. So, and that's why
Oh yeah, so like you would only want to take it out if you needed it. Like that's what you're saying, right? Exactly. Like in the case that you did need to get it.
Yeah, and you have to have a minimum balance, right? Like I think with Chase it's $1,500, right? So you should have $1,500 cash, right? So you have the minimum balance, but like why have $3,000 when you can't get anything from it, right? The bank's not going to give you shit.
I guess what you mean, like when I do want to pay my credit card every month, I would just go ahead and transfer the money back in, and then just pay it. Done.
Yep. So like one day before the credit card pays, you would do it, or maybe you leave like a $3,000 balance, and then whenever it goes below, 1,000 or whatever, you refill it or whatever. But this is because we're in a zero interest rate environment, and as long as the rates stay at zero, you actually want to stay on top of this. Now the rates could change, and then all of a sudden they'll pay you like 2, 3, 4%, and then it makes more sense to go ahead and leave more money in there because at least you're getting something.
Okay, that makes. Well, I mean, it's not like we're earning interest on checking accounts anyway.
Exactly. And what's crazy is that there's people that do like hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And it's like, okay, you're a boomer, you're old, I get it, you're afraid. But that's why you got to get these different accounts because like the problem with interactive brokers, there's other stock accounts you can use that have better like rates than Robinhood, but you don't get the money right away. So that's why even if you don't want to use Robinhood or you don't want to use the other one is M1 Finance, I would still have a little bit of money in there just so that way if you really need the money right away, you have one stockbroker you can count on to get the money. I don't know, your friend's like, I need $10,000, right? You can literally get your 10 grand the next day.
Right.
And so now it makes more sense to now own Google, Facebook. Like there's these other things you can own where it's like it doesn't go up and down a lot, but you're going to make a lot of money if you hold it for 10 years. And whenever you need to borrow, you just borrow. And then when you get cash, you can pay down your debt, but your debt's like 2.5% interest, or you can buy other stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you want to go into debt. It's weird because like you don't want to go into student loan debt, but like you know who Trump is, right? Our president, right? He never paid taxes because he took advantage of real estate debt. There's all these loopholes with real estate debt. Yeah, and that's why the best debt is actually real estate debt, but there's a loophole with stocks that you can also treat stocks like real estate, and then you can get all the Trump tax breaks. Once again, this is all like stuff you want to go in the future when you're like, because like a lot of people are like, I want to leave California, and I'm like, you're stupid. Because do you think like the people that work, like if you're LeBron and the Lakers are paying you 300, whatever, that sucks because there's nothing you can do. There's no tax deductions when you're working. But if you're like an owner or you're an investor, they have all these things that you can do where you don't have to leave California. That's why Mark Zuckerberg hasn't left. I mean, there's some really, really rich people that they know how to hustle California and they get out of it. And then all the people that work, like all the W-2 employees, they're the ones that pay the taxes. Or if you're like you tipped your waiter, they take 50% from your waiter, which is so ridiculous.
Wow, that's not right.
That's why I always do cash tips because then they can't take 50% in taxes.
Yeah. I always wondered how they like report tips. Like, how do they know how many tips you report? I mean, like how many you like.
What hours? So what they do is like work a certain amount of hours, you have to pay this much in like minimum tax, and then, but once again, if it's like a credit card transaction, it's like they can't get around it. But when you give a cash tip to the waiter and they keep that, there's no tax. They keep that $10. They just put it in their pocket, and they don't have to deal with like the 50% going to the government.
Right. It's almost as if it never happened.
Yeah, because you give them the money directly, and that's the cool thing about crypto. It's like in the future, I can tip people, and I know that the government is not gonna, it's like the cash. It's the future cash where you can give money to people, and Uncle Sam doesn't come and take half, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had like if we were at least like the Chinese, because like at least the Chinese, they use their money to do all this like loan sharking to like make other countries better. But like all of our tax money goes to blowing up people, Our military,
I know, right?
So it's like at least if the money was going to loan sharking, I'd be like, okay, like take my money, it's okay, I'll pay my taxes. But it's like no, like literally half of your federal taxes goes to death and destruction. And by the way, I'm Persian, so it's very likely in the next 5 years they're going to be blowing up my cousin, And it's like, you take my money, I'll blow up my cousin.
That's
My
just
cousin
so
is
fucked
doing.
up.
Yeah, because like it's obviously the governments are bad, but like I don't know. I just feel like there's a military industrial complex. Boeing, Raytheon, all these like really powerful defense contractors. They have a lot of money and they buy our politicians. That's the only thing that Republicans and Democrats agree on. It's endless war.
Mhm. Yeah.
'Cause they get paid by the same corporation.
Oh
Should be like
gosh. Yeah.
NASCAR. NASCAR, you at least wear, when they're giving you money. If our politicians could be like NASCAR, it'd be at least more honest.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's now go. So you hold more cash than stocks and crypto, or you have more crypto than cash,
Um. Oh no. I have way more cryptos. Actually, no. Not like way more, but like I usually will just like dollar cost average. Cause like so when I make like the any money that I have, like I'll put it in. I guess like when I have time. I mean, I should probably have a better system, but I'll like
Whatever the
accumulate
fact.
cash.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Oh
No, the
yeah, so
fact that
I'll
you
accumulate
out.
cash. Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
Have a system, yeah. Like whenever I have time, I'll just go ahead and that's also the thing about Kraken is they charge $30 every time I want to deposit like wire money. But I'll just do the like the
Go to
I'll just
Voyager.
do
There's no.
5,000.
I was gonna say there's no fees with Voyager. That's why you need to. Kraken's not treating you right. Like if a man is treating you bad, you leave. And then do you get interest at least on Kraken? Do they pay you interest on your crypto?
Well, I'm staking some. Like I'm staking the ones that can be staked.
And what do you get? What's the percentage?
I think well the biggest reason is Polkadot has I think right now it's 12% annually. So
Okay,
one
good for you.
percent a
So
month.
I only get 8% on Voyager, so I'm getting ripped off. So keep your
Actually,
Polkadot.
if you staked Polkadot on Polkadot's actual website, you would actually make even more. I don't know what the rate is, but I've heard.
Okay, but here's the thing: is I would rather have it on the exchange. So if I want to buy other cryptos, I can. Does that make sense?
Right.
Because like I don't
So
really
what?
trade Bitcoin, but like my other coins, I do want to have the ability to liquidate it if it becomes a bad trade, or if I just want to move into the dollar. Because that's the one nice thing about Voyager is any of these things I can just turn it into the dollar, and I just collect my 9%, and then I can buy more crypto, or if I actually need the money, I just convert it into actual you know bank.
That's
Because
so
like
smart.
yeah, because like I'm also like a real estate investor, and that's why like my philosophy. Have you ever watched MMA?
I mean, I don't like religiously watch it, but I've definitely seen MMA clips and stuff.
So it used to be where the best MMA fighters were good at one thing, but it's completely
Mm-hmm.
changed. Sport got like the sport evolved, and now the best MMA fighters are the people that have all three fighting styles. Even though it's more fighting styles, there's like a grappling, there's like a wrestling, like a takedown, and then there's like a boxing jiu-jitsu or whatever, right? And it's the same thing with investing. Like crypto is just one fighting style, and long term, I always think it's a bad idea to just be in one asset class, right? And like the one issue I had is I was only doing real estate, and I was only doing real estate in California. And so like if there was like an earthquake, like a lot of bad shit could have happened to me if I didn't diversify, even though like I went a long,
Right.
long time. So you see, so it's like the thing you want to do as you get older is you want to achieve because like you're right, you get comfortable with one fighting style or one investment. And when you're old, you're like that's gonna be you. 'Cause I feel like when I get older, it's gonna be harder for me to want to invest in new technologies. But yeah, in the beginning, the best thing you can do is try to learn all three. And so if you're thinking about investing in crypto and stocks, you're gonna own real estate eventually. Like it, it, it's it's an inevitable process, right? But in this generation, like the newer generation coming out, I would say first it's crypto and stocks, and then eventually like real estate would be like the third part. And like I think you want to
Mhm.
be a third, a third, a third. But right now, your investing style has been better than mine. Like I didn't put enough into.
Oh, that's interesting to say.
Hey, you there?
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, someone called me. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, you're good.
So yeah, the main thing is I lost my. Can you refresh me? What was I saying?
Oh yeah, you were like, oh, your investing style is better than mine because I didn't put enough blah blah blah.
Oh, so because you went all in crypto, crypto's actually been better than stocks and
Oh,
probably better
okay.
than, and it's been better than real estate, believe it or not. The only reason
Mhm.
real estate is better is because of the loan, right? The only thing that makes real estate such a good investment is so when I bought my first house, and this is why eventually I want you to think about real estate because you can still buy houses in California for 3.5% down. Did you know that?
Mhm. 3.5% down, and it how is that compared to like other states?
No, it's anywhere in America. Anywhere in the US, you can buy.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
oh,
government-backed loan, and that's why it makes really good sense that eventually, if you can qualify for that loan, you're gonna want to get a property. Like you're stupid not to.
mhm.
And it's like, but you don't want to do that until you first have like the stocks and the crypto down. But yeah, you can get a government loan. So like, I bought my first house. It was a $500,000 back in the day in Costa Mesa. It was a UCI frat house too. I bought a six bed, I bought a 6 bedroom house. But what was crazy is it was $500,000 and I bought it for 15 grand, right? And because I was renting all the rooms, my mortgage was like 3 grand, but I was collecting $3,600 of rent, and I was living there, right? And so that
Right.
asset now it's worth $1 million, and I collect $5,000 of rent, and it's like that's got one.
Oh,
Yeah, it's got to be one of the best investments ever, but it's because it was so leveraged. Think about it. I borrowed 97%.
oh my, wow, dude, that's
But it's something super secure, right? California real estate, and that's cool is that you live in California, so you can actually take advantage of this. Because, like, I don't recommend buying California real estate if you don't live in California because the taxes suck.
right.
But
Yeah, yeah.
it's okay because now you got your crypto, you got your stocks, and that's the thing. It's like now that I can put it all together, I'm like, holy shit, like this is really cool because now even though I have California property and like California, you have to pay income tax on your rent. It's okay because I have all these other ways to like get deductions and yeah. But you have to understand
Nice.
everything, and you don't learn any of this at USC. Like I took some taxes, like some tax classes helped at USC, but it was really just I made friends with. Okay, this is gonna sound racist, but there was like a Jewish lawyer who's also like doing tax stuff, and he's like, "Look, bro,
I know.
Jewish. I'm good at like taxes, and I'm a lawyer." And like you have to realize, like this guy I met at USC is like a freaking genius, and it's like he's just my homie. Like I didn't get a degree, but he at least like has the intellectual curiosity to like he does like all the crazy research and all that stuff. And it's like hilarious that like my degree so far it hasn't really helped me, but like he's a law student. Like I would have not met him if I didn't take this like random class, and then he was just like super into sports, and I took him to like a couple sports games, and now like he's really like hooked me up. And like if I wasn't outgoing, and that's the thing that sucks about like these schools, like if you're not outgoing and you don't like make friends with people, you're getting ripped off
Yeah, totally.
because it's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's definitely about the people you know. And yeah, like some people just get lucky.
That's true. But it's like you can increase your luck by surrounding yourself around lucky people, right?
So
Anyone can
true.
become more successful. It's like really just like the law of averages, right? The 5 people you hang around the most, if they are trying to become better, you're going to also become better, right? But if they're trying to bring you down, then you're going to go down with them, right? Because it's like you really
Yeah.
are, you hang around. And like that's the whole idea of going to a good school, is to build that network. And then a lot of people don't even do that. Like, do you even hang out with your UCI friends?
Not even, like, honestly, so rarely.
Yeah, yeah. But I noticed at USC they do a better job. That's the only difference. USC, they're like, look, you guys are one of you guys is gonna be rich, so hang out with everyone.
Yeah.
I do want to do something for UC Irvine. I don't know if you want to set up something alumni. I would like to do like some sort of personal finance thing for UCI students. I'm just too
Like
lazy.
a seminar.
Yeah, and help them out because I do feel like USC does a much better job.
I feel like you could. Are you part of the Alumni Association?
No, but I'd rather just let's just do the YouTube stuff. I'd rather just do YouTube and like TikTok, and then if people really like it, then they'll reach out to me. Because like, believe it or not, a USC professor hit me up because of my TikTok, and he's like, "You want to?" Oh, by the way, I'm going to be a guest lecturer at USC for their financial technology classes.
Wow, congrats, dude. That's
Yeah, yeah,
awesome.
isn't that cool? Yeah, exactly. So even though I'm on YouTube and TikTok, and I kind of like there's a lot of bullshit gurus. It's like, well, I have an MBA, I have a broker's license, and now I'm hopefully going to be like a adjunct professor at USC.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And you
And
get paid for that shit too.
no, but you know why they do that? It's so they don't have to tenure you. It's kind of like messed up because when they give you positions, it's because another professor, they're not going to give them tenure. It's kind of messed up.
Oh,
But yeah, yeah,
I see, I see.
it's a hustle, education.
The whole system's a huge hustle. But yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah. But let's go back. Okay, so we got to get you to transfer most of your cash into Robinhood, and then I also recommend interactive brokers. Have you heard of them?
No.
So the reason why you want to get an interactive broker is in the beginning, I would just do the light version. They charge you like way less. But if you get over 100 grand, they let you borrow under 1%. So like that should motivate you too to get to 100 grand in stock.
That's
It's
true.
not,
Yeah.
you can borrow $50,000 and it would cost you less than $500 a
Oh
year.
my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, and it's tax deductible.
Oh, there you go.
And this is why like during coronavirus, the rich people got richer. It's because they take advantage of this thing. It's like you buy assets and you use cheap debt to buy assets, and the assets go up in value, but your debt stays, the dollar, because like inflation is 3%. Have they taught you that? Inflation's about 3%.
Like a year.
Yeah, your dollar. So if you have
Okay.
$1, it's worth 97 cents the next year.
Okay. Wow.
No one mentioned that. No one's ever mentioned that. And so in China, it's
I
like
mean, I
6%. So
wait, 6% down.
yeah, their currency goes down.
Oh,
Yeah, and like
for some
Mexico,
reason,
go ahead.
for some reason I thought like America's was like one of the worst.
No, other countries are worse. U.S. That's
Mhm.
why we're actually really lucky because for us, it's a lot easier for us to get rich because we have the U.S. dollar. What you don't
Okay.
realize, it's all these other people. So like, if you're ever like, like, because in Orange County you see a bunch of rich people and you're like, man, I wish I was rich. But it's like, imagine if you're in another country and your currency is going down 25% against the dollar every year. It's like, unless you could buy crypto, you're screwed. Like, doesn't matter what you buy, it's gonna go down.
Mhm.
So that's a good way to stay positive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Wow.
do the interactive brokers and the Robinhood, but if you want, you can't buy any crypto on interactive brokers. But
Oh, I see. Mhm.
eventually, you want to eventually transfer all your stocks to interactive brokers because when you get to that 100 grand thing, I mean, it's amazing that you don't pay any fees. there's no fees, and you're able to borrow for under 1%. But they cater to rich people, so.
Yeah, exactly.
We should create a
It's a good
podcast
motivation.
where we're going to help you, okay? I'm going to help you get to that 100 grand. I think you can do it.
Oh my gosh, that just makes my fingers tingle.
No,
Exciting
but
stuff.
yeah,
Like imagine.
you don't think you can do it in 5 years? Maybe less, but you don't
I
think you can
I
do it in 5 years?
guess like okay, like I think I could, but like I've honestly never thought about it. Like
You just
it's
made like 15 grand. You have like 15 or 20 grand, and you did it in 1 year. If you did it in
all
1 year,
right, well that's true.
yeah, you
I
have
guess
no
you got me
clue. You
there.
have no clue. You don't have an MBA. You don't have like. I mean, you went in blind, and what's hilarious is you did a better job. I want to tell you this. Like, I have, an MBA. I have all this investment experience, but I didn't YOLO crypto like you. Like, I've been buying stocks, and yeah, I've been buying stocks. But the problem is, I
Like
put a lot of money in crypto in 2017, and I let it ride. But no matter what, right now, if I started with you, I wouldn't have done what you did. Like, I wouldn't have put all that money. Like, whenever I told you to invest, I would have been like 50% crypto, 50% stock. So the fact that you didn't listen, I don't know if you didn't listen to me, but it's like, in a way, see, like, no guru can give you the best advice. Sometimes being, beginner's luck when you gamble and shit. so, so
true.
even if I try to give you, but the main thing is, like, you just want to stay consistent and have like a goal, right? I would say your first goal would be $1,000, but you already surpassed that, and then the next goal would be 10,000. You already surpassed that, right?
Mhm. Well,
So
it goes up and down, but about, yeah.
so then the next goal should be 100 grand, right? We're gonna get you to 100 grand, but
That's such
you
a
don't
huge
want,
jump.
but you could
Yeah,
do
I
it
get.
in 5 years, and there's gonna be inflation. Like, you're gonna be making more money. Like, like, everything goes up. Like, the dollar gets devalued. 5 years from now, like, 100 grand is not gonna be worth as much unless you buy crypto and stocks and real estate.
Yep, that's true.
Okay, and then I'll just make a prediction. How about in 10 years we'll get you to $1 million?
Oh my Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I'm laughing, but like I know what you mean.
Okay. Well, that's the
It's
goal. Your
it's
goal is,
crazy.
but it's an easy goal. Maybe you can do it. For sure, I know you can get to 100 grand, but you could easily get to $1 million, and you'd be 34, right?
Yeah, 34.
Yeah, yeah, 34. You can, especially if you're starting now with the right mindset. You're not going to buy any more Louis Vuittons, right?
I honestly don't even spend that much on things outside of my essentials.
That's why I think you can get to a million. You already have an advantage. I would like, if you like to travel a lot and you like to. Traveling is okay if you know how to do it the right way. So traveling is actually not a bad thing. I think you should buy experiences, not items.
Right.
But anyways, yeah. So I think if you stick to your goals, yeah, I think you could easily do the 100K, and I think you could do $1 million. And you should create like some sort of blog, and then, or we'll create some sort of content, so then other UCI students can like look at you and be like, hey, I can just like, you know, anyone can. You got to start with $1,000. You already broke that, so then you go to 10,000. When you break that, you go to 100 grand, and then when you break that, you go to a million, and then after a million, you should give it away or fight climate change. You don't need more than $1 million
Yeah.
unless inflation hits, and then $1 million is not a big deal.
Right.
So, but at least we have this all recorded, so we'll see. But I am very confident you can get to 100 grand and a million, as long as your habits
Oh,
don't change.
thanks, man. That's very positive. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, and you just got to believe in yourself, and you can do it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so then let's just finish with this then. So, yeah, definitely, I would start taking money out of your checking accounts, and um, I would do both. I would do maybe $2,000 with Robinhood and $2,000 with Interactive Brokers, And then if you
Okay.
want, yeah, and then if you want just that you like more, put more money in. But definitely have both because like sometimes Robinhood goes down and you can't trade. And then sometimes on Interactive Brokers, you can't you can't trade either. So that's one reason to have it. And then the cool thing with Robinhood is you can buy crypto with your loan.
No, yeah, that's true.
But remember, with Interactive Brokers, you just take cash out and then use that cash to go to one of your exchanges.
Oh yeah, it's almost the
So
same thing. Or
yeah,
yeah.
it's almost the same thing. It's just sometimes it's very convenient using Robinhood to buy Bitcoin because they do give you a good price on it or whatever. And then eventually they said you'll be able to take your crypto off of Robinhood. And then the only other reason I like Robinhood is so you don't have to worry about hacks. Because the problem with the other exchanges, someone could like hack your wallet and then send away your crypto. Like that could happen.
Oh yeah,
That can't that can't
yeah.
that can't happen with stocks. No one can like hack into your stocks account and then send your stocks to like China. Like that's not going to happen. That's the thing too. It's like the
Uh-huh.
fact that you went YOLO crypto. It's okay because like you're doing your first 10 grand and it's much faster. But it's like when you get to 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, you don't want to have it where someone hacks into your freaking wallet and then boom, you got 40 grand gone. There's that risk when you have like a Kraken or any wallet that allows you to take it off the exchange, you're kind of screwed. But the one cool thing about Robinhood is they can't take it off. They would have to sell it, transfer the dollars into your bank account, and then somehow take it out of your bank
Uh-huh.
account, and that's all insured, so you're good. So,
Okay.
so once again, it kind of makes sense to be really aggressive and to go heavy on crypto. But once you're getting to your like 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, I think you want to start to diversify into stocks.
Okay, yeah, that's a good like set point.
Okay, and give me 5 stocks you're gonna buy. Let's just do 5 stocks. What are the 5 stocks you're gonna buy? Keep it simple. Or
Ooh.
actually, you want to do 10? I think 10 is better. Or do you want to do
Okay,
7?
sure.
7's a lucky number.
Lucky seven.
So
So
you pick.
definitely I wanna buy some Coinbase.
Okay.
I think they're gonna do pretty well.
Okay. What else? That's
I could always get more Amazon.
Amazon is a great company. It's a little pricey right now, so I would say just
Yeah,
buy
it
like a
is.
little at a time. Yeah. So Amazon's so Coinbase, Amazon, that's 2. What's your third?
So I
Apple.
think oh yeah, Apple. I could always use more Apple.
Yep. So Apple's good. You got 3. You have a fourth. You were gonna say something.
Oh yeah, I think Neo's at a great price right now.
Okay.
The Chinese car company Neo.
If you do Neo, you have to do Tesla then. So that's 4 and 5.
Exactly. I was gonna say Tesla next.
Okay. So you got 5. Let's just go to 10, or do you want to go to 7?
I'm sure that we can do 10. Maybe you could help me too.
Yeah. Okay. So for sure, Google. You got to have Google.
Yep.
Microsoft. Arc. Uh,
Microsoft. Oh yeah,
Kathy.
we forgot the art.
Okay. So that's 8. We got 2 left. Do you want me to keep picking?
Let's see. What are okay? How about like because we've got a lot of those like we've got like technology, Fortune 500 companies. How about like do you know any good like environmental?
Yeah. So I like either Enphase Energy, which is like a solar company, Enphase Energy, or there's an ETF. It's like called the Clean ETF, and I think it's ICLN. Or you could do battery technology, which is LIT, lit, LIT.
Lit.
Yeah, I just got
It's
that. Yeah,
super
lit.
lit.
So you can get lit with lit. And so, yeah, and then so the Enphase is like ENPH if you want to do the solar company. So that lit and Enphase can be our 2 climate change.
Awesome. I like those. Cool.
Cool. All right, cool. Yeah, so you're set. And all right, so what is today? I just want to make it. Okay, so it's 420. So here we go. In 5 years, so 4/20/26, right? 4/20/26, right? So in 2026, you're gonna hopefully have more than 100 grand in your Robinhood or Interactive Brokers.
We'll keep our fingers crossed and just keep on moving forward. Hell
I mean,
yeah.
you're already like halfway there. You're close to halfway. You're 25%. So I'm pretty sure you can do it in 5 years. Yeah, yeah. And now that you have the goal too, I think you might do it. And like, it's hilarious, but I mean, you might do it by next year.
Who knows, man?
Yeah.
You never know.
Exactly. So, okay, cool. And then remember, once you get the margin set up, that's what's going to allow you. Because remember, once you have like $5,000, you can start borrowing money to buy stocks as well, or buy more crypto. So that's why you can get to $100,000 faster, right? So, but once again, we'll start with like you can be really conservative. So you can, but I think you should take more risk. You did with crypto. You YOLO'd crypto and it worked out for you.
I totally YOLO'd it, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes the YOLO is better because I was gonna be like, oh, 50% stock, 50% crypto, but like it's good. You didn't listen to me, and maybe everything I told you shouldn't listen. You should do the exact opposite, and maybe you'll do better again. All right, 2026, 100K. And what is it? 2031. You're gonna have to be a millionaire. I'm gonna hold you accountable.
2031. We got this.
And if you do become a millionaire, you have to help me get like a building. We got to get a building at UCI, right?
The Dean building.
No, but your name's gotta be on it too. I don't want to be on a building by myself. That's kind of douchey. I'd rather get
like all those
20 UCI alumni, and we'll call it like maybe we do it on like a swap group or something. Did you ever do swaps, by the way?
Since I was local, I like went to SPOP and then I just went home.
You're like this. Everyone here sucks at SPOP, huh?
I just didn't. I was like, no, I don't want to stay in the dorm for one night. Like, I could just go down the street and go home.
Your TFC. Anyways, we made a goal. So at my spot, I was like, hey, I want to get a building, but I don't want to have a building by myself. I want to get a bunch of my spoppers on there. What sucks is I had some of them on Facebook, but I forgot most of them. Those are really long time.
Yeah.
I still have that goal. So if you want to join me, let's get a building at UCI. It's cheaper, right? Isn't it cheaper the more people that get in on it?
Well, that's true, huh? That's true.
Yep. All right. So yeah, good talk. Okay, thank you very much. Let's just go over your crypto portfolio really quick. Do you mind doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Before we go?
Yeah, I can share. So, okay, let me pull it up really quick. So I'm staking Polkadot. I'm also staking Ethereum.
12%, and you're good for you.
Mhm. Ethereum, I'm actually not sure what the rate is on Ethereum, but I don't own a lot of Ethereum anyway, so honestly, I don't even really pay attention to it. And then I have to work on, I need to do this right away, or as soon as possible, but I need to start staking my ADA. I don't even do that yet. And staking ADA is one of the best ways to make money.
What's the percent you can get? Because on Voyager, I believe it's 6% on ADA.
Have you looked at other platforms? Because I can't stake ADA on Kraken. So I was looking for a lot of people stake ADA in the wallet. Like
I'll text you Voyager right now. Move all your ADA to Voyager and you'll get 6%.
Yeah. I think you sent me your code, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then when you do that, I was gonna tell you too, what's cool is that if you decide to sell any of that Cardano, you can do it with no fees on Voyager. So like if you want to buy more Bitcoin or any other crypto, you can convert it and there's no fees on it.
Down. I'm so down for that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Well, good luck. So if you can, just in the future, send me a screenshot so I can actually like see you have like a breakdown, right, of all the holding.
Yeah, it has to be. The only thing is, well, I'll send you something. I'll send you like my ledger because it separates staked assets and crypto assets. So it's a little hard to read.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And then also do the $100 also on the Voyager, so you can get the 9% interest on the US dollar. Yeah, just try that because if you want to take profits on your crypto, I would use the Voyager to do it, and then you can sit on those US dollars and get the 9%.
And like not have to pay tax on it right away. I mean, like, well, obviously I would, right?
Hold on, you only pay taxes on the 9%. So let's just say you have but hold on, it's like you're gonna pay nothing. So I think if you make less than $600 of income, they're not gonna even report it. So if you had $1,000, they're gonna pay you $90. Yeah, $1,000 would be $90. So
I get it.
Yeah, you would have to have over 10 grand before you have to worry about even reporting those taxes. And like, I'll just tell you right now, like your tax return, like you have to have like more than 100 grand on your tax return before you really have to worry about an audit. So you're good. Trust me, the government doesn't go after young people because they know you have no money. So they go after like the people that have like, a lot more assets because like you have to put all your assets. Like once you start owning all this crypto, you're gonna have to list it on your tax return, but it's gonna show that you own just like 10 grand or 15 grand, right? So it's like they're not gonna bother you. They're not gonna bother you until you get into like the 100. Like once you get to the 100 grand, 200 grand, then I would say go get a tax professional and like worry about taxes. But like until you even have like 50, 60, $70,000, even if you don't report it, like they're not going to do anything. Because like I actually didn't report a lot of my crap when I wasn't making a lot of money because it was such a small amount. It was like $100, $200, and I never got audited. Nothing ever happened. But as soon as I started making good money, I got a tax professional and I did it all like the right way. But a lot of people get tricked and they get the tax professional before they're making, like, you got to be making more than like 60 to 100 grand a year before you want a tax professional. It doesn't make sense. You can just do it yourself. And
because honestly, everybody's saying that. They're like, don't risk it. Make sure you talk to someone because you don't want those little $100, $200 to bite you in the ass later.
Okay, so you know what the penalty is? Because I actually didn't report some of my taxes. Guess what the penalty is?
What?
7%. So if you cheat on $10,000 of taxes, guess what your penalty is of 7%?
So it's 7% of like 10,000.
Of 10 grand. No, of 10,000. 7% of 10,000. So it's $700.
So that's like $700.
Yeah. So if you cheat on $10,000 of taxes and you don't pay the government, they're going to hit you with a $700 penalty.
Which is like not much compared to $10,000.
Yeah, that's why you're incentivized. The tax system incentivizes you to cheat because the mathematical odds of getting an audit and the amount of money that you can save by not paying the $10,000 in taxes. Like imagine you don't pay the $10,000, you put it into Bitcoin. That's a mathematically better like investment than worrying about. And this actually, I got lucky where I owed money for taxes, but I didn't do my taxes the right way. And so I went and bought like more properties than I would have been comfortable buying. But it actually ended up being good because I paid the penalties on my back taxes. But because I paid the penalties and I ended up buying more real estate, I ended up making way more money.
Oh my God.
So don't worry about taxes. And even if you owe, like I said, if you cheat on 10 grand, it's a $700 fine. And if you instead had put that 10 grand into like a good investment, it's more than likely that that investment will pay for the penalty.
Yeah.
I'm going to
So
cut that
true.
out. I'm not putting that on YouTube.
Yeah, don't.
I can cut out. But they know this. I mean, the Democrats are bitching to the Republicans because like when Trump came into office, he purposely did this. Like Trump, I mean, I know people vote for Trump because they're racist, but if you're like legitimately like over $1 million, like Trump has done a lot of like really messed up shit for people that don't make more than like 60,000. Like if you make under 60,000 and you support Trump, you're kind of an idiot. But if you make over $1 million, I can understand a lot of these people. They're not racist. It's just he's like what he did was so ridiculous, and like everyone's okay with it because like most of the rich people are the ones paying the politicians. But
Right.
he really deregulated, and that's why right now they're like, oh, we need to do more audits, blah 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 blah, because like people don't want to talk about this, but he gutted the IRS, and like the IRS goes after rich people because what's the point if you cheated on $10,000? What's the point of getting $700? The people that really cheat are the super rich people, right? They cheat on like $10 million of taxes, and then it makes
Yeah.
and then it makes sense for the IRS to go audit them because even if they don't cheat, if they find like a small mistake, it's a lot more money than going after you. So that's why it sucks because a lot of people get afraid and they think that Uncle Sam's going to come get you, but in reality, like you're never cheating the government. The people that cheat the government are like the really rich people, and no one wants to say anything, but
Right.
it's the truth. It's like
Yeah.
anyone who's a billionaire, like Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, like they don't pay taxes. Amazon pays zero in taxes. Most of his net worth is in Amazon stock. He's never going to sell it. He just gets a loan.
Mhm.
When
Mhm.
Jeff Bezos wants a jet, he doesn't sell his Amazon stock. He goes to like one of these banks and he's just like, give me $100 million at 2% interest, and then he goes and buys a private jet, and then he flies his private jet around. But
Man,
that was a long lecture, man. I'm surprised
that
you,
was long. You,
huh?
hey, you're gonna be a great guest lecturer.
Yeah, I just like talking about this stuff. It's kind of me being a nerd.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you definitely have the passion and you have a gift for sure.
I don't know if it's a gift. It's just I have the curiosity, right? Because you just have
Yeah,
to.
that's a gift.
Anyone, anyone can learn, right? Like, I mean, you're like, you've been doing it for a year, and like, I'm sure in like a couple of years you can learn too. You just have to care. It's like, do you want to watch
Yeah,
the
that's
Kardashians?
the thing.
Do
The
you
thing
want to
is
watch
you
the
have to
Kardashians?
care.
Yeah, it's like who do you want to pay attention to? Do you want to pay attention to the people that talk about investing, or do you want to pay attention to the Kardashians?
Yeah.
Do you have, hold on, so before we go, do you have a guilty pleasure? What's the stupid media you consume?
Oh my God. Well, it's funny, but like Keeping Up with the Kardashians is one of my favorite shows because I've been watching them for like since forever, and it just feels like they're like it the show it like grounds me. Like whenever I'm feeling like in a bad mood or if I'm like had a bad day, like I'll just watch their show and it totally grounds me because it feels like they've been a part of my life for so long. I mean, they're going on their 20th season right now,
Wow. And
and it's the
so
last one too. Yeah.
is it because of all the drama they go through? It's like, look how rich they are
Yeah.
and all this drama.
It's the drama. Like the show is popular because it's just like entertaining to watch, and then it's really lighthearted because all of the issues are like not real issues. You know what I mean?
I see.
I actually don't watch a lot of shows, but like I love a good reality show because I just think it's like better than watching like a drama. I don't know why. It's like not as like emotionally invested.
Can I recommend someone you should watch? And actually, I recommend this to everyone. Have you heard of Meet Kevin?
No, I haven't.
He's a YouTuber, and all he does is cover stocks, real estate, and crypto. And what sucks is he stole my idea because I basically had a YouTube show that was exactly like what he was doing. And then YouTube shut me down. And he now does exactly what I do because I was sharing, he follows all the financial newses and he like comments on what they are doing. Like, have you heard of CNBC or like Fox Business?
Stock business?
Yeah. So he covers mainstream media business news or Bloomberg. You've heard of Bloomberg?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so what's nice is you normally have to pay, right? Like if you don't have money, it's hard to get the financial news because you have to usually pay like through a premium account. So he has like a loophole where he's commenting on it. So it's like you can basically, he has all the really expensive technology that you would want and he shares it on his YouTube because he also has like the Bloomberg terminal and the Bloomberg terminal will give you whatever news you want on crypto or stocks like right away. So it's like the fastest way. As soon as like something that's going to like move stocks or crypto, it goes on the Bloomberg terminal. You have to pay $2,000 a month to have it.
$2,000 a month?
Yeah. So all you do is you can
What?
watch him on YouTube because he does all his trading and all his stock crap. And so you don't have to pay Bloomberg. He goes live and you can, when he goes live, you can go you just watch him when he's doing it live and you have all the information. And so what he does is it's a really good way to learn about because he doesn't just do stocks, he does real estate and crypto. And
Damn. Okay.
He's younger than me. This is what's more crazy. He's younger than me. He's 29 years old, and I think he's worth $30 million.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he's just basically like my high school friend because I grew up with a high school friend that's just like Kevin. And so I got into real estate because of my high school friend. He's one of my buddies that moved to Texas, and his name's Feely. And like, what's funny is Kevin is basically Feely. And so I always tell people like, oh, you just got to find, like someone that's like smart and successful that you grew up with, right? And like, I wouldn't be in real estate, stocks, or crypto if it wasn't for my friend Feely. But it's like I went to high school in Newport Beach, so it's like you're gonna obviously meet more successful people when you go to high school in Newport Beach. But it's like anyone can just watch Kevin on YouTube, right? Kevin can be your Feely. And he doesn't just talk about stocks and real estate. He'll bring up some tax stuff, but like it's a good way to start. Like you can follow this guy where he has a lot of legit information and he's kind of entertaining. He's not boring. So so but don't buy his class. He's kind of a scammer.
Okay.
He has classes he sells.
I mean, they have to do that, huh? Yeah.
Not when you're worth 30 million. That's the problem.
I
like
mean,
if you're worth $1 million,
I guess.
but he's worth 30 million. It's like, come on, bro.
I think at that point, like you're like, I know he's like, I know I'm gonna make money with these classes, so might as well.
Well, anyways, I'm doing my TikTok and my YouTube. I don't sell classes; it's all free content because I'm not as rich as Kevin, but I don't want anyone to give me money. I want them to.
I support that way more.
Yeah, like
Good
whatever
values.
$100 you wanted to give me, just put it in Bitcoin, and I'm already invested.
Nice.
So when you buy $200 of Bitcoin, you're also helping me. So like we're in it together. Both make money together.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll let you go. But yeah, watch the Meet Kevin guy, and yeah, that's all.
For sure, man. Thanks for talking.
Yeah, no worries.
Like we'll
do it
keep
soon.
in touch.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch. We'll track your progress, and maybe these talks we have will become as popular as Meet Kevin. We'll blow up on the internet.
For sure, man. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.